Here we go, guys. Everyone behind the ruck. It's that time of the day again, whether it's morning, evening, afternoon. I don't care what time you're watching. Welcome to the show. Partner?
It's showtime, eh?
You ready?
I'm ready.
Exciting?
Ready. Yeah, exciting.
Are we going to get our hands dirty?
Very dirty.
Are we going to be offside today?
Let's keep it clean.
You're going to keep it clean?
Try keep it
Good
clean.
pictures?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, go. Guys, on the show today, we have Springbok Rugby, South Africa versus the Pumas up at Ellis Park. We got the Bledisloe Cup. Eddie Sampanados, he's got a lot of headaches down there. And then, very exciting.
Most importantly.
Who?
Huh?
Who?
Got someone in here.
Tell me.
It's the scary, the boogeyman.
Oh my goodness.
Live and direct, the boogeyman. I don't know if it's the boogeyman or it's the boogeyman. Huh?
But he's a World Cup winner.
Hopefully he's got the medal, yeah. Huh?
He's got a URC trophy.
CV&a-half.
Guys, all the way from Paris. Today we got Warrick Gelant and we are excited to have him.
Yes.
Guys, I'm Rudy Page.
I'm Johan de Jong.
And this is Behind the Ruck. And here is partner, hey? The one and only Mr. Warrick Gelant.
Warrick Gelant in the building. What's happening?
Easy guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome. Welkom.
I'm actually disappointed that I'm not in episode 1, but unfortunately, but episode 4, yeah.
Shots fired, first round. Okay, I see how this interview is gonna go, John. Now, on a serious note, welcome to Behind the Ruck.
Thank you.
Welcome, brother. We are flipping excited to have you. Really excited. Yeah. I'm personally excited to see you again. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But welcome to us. How are you feeling?
No, good. It's good to see that you obviously grown a few centimeters. The last time I've seen you, obviously it's been a while.
Yeah.
Juba, you too. It's so great to be. Thank you for inviting me and to be part of this one. I appreciate it.
Before we can continue, guys, everybody has to do their part in Behind the Ruck. Have you watched the show and have you subscribed? Quick question, go.
I've watched. I haven't subscribed.
Mr. Producer.
I was waiting for me to obviously be on first.
Okay.
Then I can subscribe.
So you come with T's and C's.
Of course, yes.
I do apologize. High maintenance, but let's continue. Warrick, how are you doing, my friend? Where are you in the world currently? Obviously, I don't know. Are you on holiday in Cape Town? What is happening? Please share, my brother.
Yes, I am on holiday still.
Okay.
I'm still going to be on holiday for a while.
Okay.
I've seen some guys around the Bronco in the last couple of days. So I've seen guys South Africa has been starting with pre-season.
Yes.
So hopefully I'll join maybe a team or so just to, stay in shape before any competition starts,
Okay, so
I wonder who's this team, eh?
Yeah.
Now I'm also wondering. I thought he's got news to share, but for now there's nothing. He's keeping us in the lurch.
Is he going to say anything about the Table Mountain? Or?
No, I mean, Cape Town used to be home.
Yes.
I'm happy to be back. Rudy's in Cape Town.
Yes.
So he's obviously a Gauteng guy.
Yes.
But he's here. So
it makes sense for you to be here.
Exactly.
100%.
So,
I get it.
Yeah, but I'm back. I'm joining the Stormers again.
Oh, nice.
It's out.
I saw training.
It's out, guys. Where are you? Who are you joining?
I'm joining the DHL Stormers.
The DHL Stormers.
Stormers fans, he's back. He's back. Let's go.
Because I was surprised. I was training. I'm like, this guy looks very familiar. But it is him. It is Warrick Gelant at the Stormers. It's good to see.
Yeah, I told Mama, my wife, I was like, yeah, where is Bokeh? I see on Instagram he's posting. I don't want to be in Afrikaans to say, Mama, ek wil vir Barag is en vir hom vra waar gaan hy next speel. So I was waiting for him to be on the show. But now it's here first and you've heard it first. Behind the Ruck, Warrick Gelant joining DHL Stormers.
That's awesome to see you, I must say. So Warrick, it's good to have you back at the Stormers. The boogeyman is back. The boogeyman is back. It's good to see. I want to know about the name, the boogeyman. Where does it come from? Is it the boogeyman or is it the boogeyman? Which side is it?
It changed over the years. Obviously, I gave it some meaning. It used to be, I think maybe it was our hostel name. Let me start there. It was our hostel name. Those names that you never like, it's the ones that normally stick.
Yeah.
So I got it in hostel when I was grade 8. Tenico obviously Kwagas.
By your stage.
Pagi was also there. I got it there. Funny story. My matric that gave me the name, he basically told me that I looked like a character in the movie that he watched. And he thought the name was Boogie. Until he realized that the name was never Boogie. But I ended up sticking with the name, you know. So, yeah, that's how I got the name. And obviously, I think it developed over the...
There's a couple other things, Baby Yaga.
Baba Yaga, yeah.
I missed that one.
Yeah.
I missed Baba
Yeah, no,
Jakes.
it was.
Yeah, that evolved after me.
Yeah, after
It's like Puff, Daddy P, Daddy.
I don't know how I'm feeling about this new name. I've got my reservations with this new name, but what's this new name again? Baby what?
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga.
Yeah, no, it's, so basically, John Wick is called the Boogeyman.
Yes.
But they also call him Baba Yaga.
Oh, I see. So John Wick 5 coming out?
Basically, yeah, so
Warrick Gelant.
yeah, I think obviously the last one was in Paris when I was there, obviously.
Oh,
yes.
You know, so I think part
So
5 will
life
be in
after
Cape
acting.
Town. 5 will be in Cape Town, I think. Yeah.
I feel that. You spoke about pre-season at the Stormers. How was it? First day back. Was it starting this week? Is it?
Yeah, this week it was good. I mean, medicals obviously, doing the medicals, the SNCs want to do their testing in the gym and first years do the mobility stuff. Yeah, unfortunately I couldn't run yesterday, but I did.
Well done.
I did
Well
see
done.
someone around called Juan de Jong.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought he was
and
retired.
No,
35 hours deep.
no.
I thought he was done.
He ran
Yeah?
very well in the
Oh.
beginning. Amazing form.
Yes.
You had to say
But-
that, otherwise I kick him out of here.
Is it?
You had to see the finish.
Strong.
What did it look like?
I think he managed to get in 20 steps within 10 meters.
Oh my goodness.
It's worse than your biggest stride, Paghi.
It's not about me.
No,
Talking about the store.
I'm
Okay.
just
I
saying, like when
wanted
you
to make sure.
sprint, obviously,
Yes.
when I saw him,
I
and
thought, I thought
he
it
had
was
the
done, but yeah.
athletic finish.
Yes.
You know that
Yeah, the photo finish.
forward one, but it was head down first into the grass.
Mm.
And then he stayed there for like I think 6-7 seconds. I don't know if he was concussed. I had to ask him,
Is
but
it-
he was just down.
Was he
like
on the
this.
ground?
He was on the ground, gone.
It's tough, hey, Bronco? It's been a while for you.
Yeah, it's more than a year, so I'm retired. Warrick.
Yeah,
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Everyone, obviously. But yeah, I don't want to talk about preseason. No one likes
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
First of all, no player likes preseason. You're always tired. There's no reward. You got long days of 2-a-day trainings. So we're gonna skip that.
Yeah.
You fine with that?
I'm happy with that, yeah.
You fine with that?
I'm very
I want to
impressive.
go straight to Paris.
Yeah.
Paris?
Paris. Your time in Paris. Please talk to us. What was it like in the beautiful city, the city of love? Obviously, playing at Racing Metro, which is a flippin' prestigious and awesome rugby club. I would like to know personally, Nefi, what was your time like in Paris the year? What was it like? What stood out for you?
Yeah.
All of that things.
I think the first thing when I got there, it was winter. So, yeah, the welcome wasn't as great as I thought it would be. Because I had to suddenly, you know. I always saw Juan, let me just start there. I always saw Juan, it was having all the equipment available.
Tracksuit, skins.
Tracksuit, beanie, gloves, whatever.
Balaclava.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I could never understand it until I got there, you know. And yeah, it was just insane. I think in the way they normalize it is the fact that they still have their 2 sessions a day.
Outside.
Yeah, outside. I'm
Yes.
like, okay, if I was in South Africa and the weather's like this, let's just make one big session.
Or
you know,
training
Yeah.
cancelled.
finish it and then get out of the weather.
Yeah.
Nah, they kept it the same. But like I said, a lot of legends went to the club and they played there. It was an experience, a very difficult experience for me. I think, just especially like for who I am as a person, the lifestyle was different, difficult.
tough to-
Obviously, the language, very difficult. Rugby is also different. They play top 14 different than how we do it. And then there's obviously the language barrier of what we used to do here in South Africa compared to what they do there. Trying to talk to each other, try to maybe say implement some stuff of what we've done here. And also I think learning from what they are doing in top 14 because it's different rugby. But with that said, I think it was an amazing journey. I think as a human being it was difficult because I went over alone. You know, so I don't have a family. I don't move
Yeah,
around.
that's always the tough one, especially if it's someone that makes it easier.
Yeah. So in that regard it was difficult. the language barrier with the rugby was difficult, was different.
That is extremely tough. I've
I mean, you've
obviously
been there,
I've
yeah.
been especially backline players for us. We obviously most of our game is about communication.
Yeah.
I might be right
Yeah,
or wrong.
yeah.
But when you can't communicate. Like for my instance, I couldn't communicate with my fly-off.
Yeah,
So whatever happens on the field, on the go, you
Yeah.
can't execute what you see with your eyes. Because the
Exactly.
mouth does not work with the
Body language.
body language.
Yeah.
yeah. I've been there for like a week. I played my first game. I had 3 training sessions with a fully French backline. And I didn't understand the word. I must just stay ready in the moment, like they call a call in French. I was like, now I must think, what is this call again? What is the movement? And then eventually I just end up, staying ready for, if the ball
Whatever
comes
it is.
wide, I'm ready to receive it or not.
You just use your talent.
Yeah,
basically.
so basically, I can't even get to a point where I play according to my ability or play what I see, because my mind is using all its power to think of what the call is actually and where the move is going.
So it's more reaction for
So
you.
it's more reaction than being proactive in that regard. But it got better towards the end. Like you understand the language much better, and I think it became much more easier. But like I said, for me it was a case of when I got the opportunity to come back to South Africa, I was like, listen, I can always use what I've learned there and come and implement it here by us.
Was it easier when it was English guys that came in, like Van Russell, Christian Wade, Francis?
Yeah, it is easier with them but then again it became like sort of like foreigners in the French guys, because
there's a divide.
then there's the division according to what we know, and especially with Francis, I speak a lot with him, even Wade, because he went to the NFL, him, so he has this background of obviously how they did things in the Premiership and then NFL, and then Francis coming from New Zealand, so it's guys who think different about the game, and then when I obviously join them or we speak about the game, it's way different compared to how top 14 is being played.
I want to come in, sorry Boogie, I know when you're in the club there's a lot of foreign guys that speaks English, but because of the JIF system, you're not all at the same time on the field. So that is the biggest problem, the toughest problem. So you got a lot of guys in the group that speaks English and that's from foreign, that's from New Zealand and England and wherever, but you're actually never together on the field that you guys can speak and communicate in English. So that was tough for me as well as a 9. So I know, because we were a lot of guys at the club, but then you never end up playing together. So it just becomes you doing a little 30-second or a riddle on the field. Not nice.
Yeah. So Boogie, you how long did you sign there? So you came back after 1 year, eh?
After 1 year, I was supposed to be there for 2 seasons. But the club was generous enough. They said, when I asked for them to, is it able for me to come back? They said, listen, at the end of the day, we understand that your family's back home, and basically, obviously, you were alone in a foreign country, and the adjustment was difficult. So the club will always listen to the players and support his happiness instead of being selfish and say, listen, you've signed 2 years, you have to be here, whatever. So they said, listen, if this is better for the player and you're going to be more happier if you go back, whatever, we support you 100%.
Happiness is key, and that's when you enjoy your rugby. First
You're
of all.
at your best.
So you had a year then, you couldn't find a metgesel or a loved one.
I was just about to ask him about Paris outside the
city
four
of
lines.
love.
I mean, I see it on the movies.
Yes.
And I think, wow.
So, but the one thing you need to understand, movies also fiction. But anyway, now the thing for me was the main move why I went to Racing was because of the rugby.
Okay.
And so when I came there and I sort of like struggle with the rugby part of it, I was like, okay, it's different. It wasn't what I was used to at the Stormers. And I think most of it is basically upon myself because I didn't know what I know now. So I guess there's an old thing of experience and whatever. It comes down to you have to experience basically what happened or how things are that side. So I think because I didn't experience what I thought I would experience in the rugby department, it's sort of like made me stay in that bubble of like, like I made this move. It wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah.
And so, if you ask me now, where can I go in Paris? I won't be able to tell you because I was in this bubble of making this rugby thing work, and I basically forget to love life outside of rugby.
Fair enough.
And like you said, basically it makes me realize that what's the things that's important for me. It's my family. It's being happy. It's knowing South African food and all of those things. So, but. To answer the question, no, I didn't, because I didn't experience Paris at all. So
but we're excited to see him back. That's the important thing. Back at the Stormers, we had an amazing season in 2022 with Boogie back at the full back. So it's good to see you back. How was the planning in terms of coming back? And you're excited to have joining the Stormers. Obviously things are a bit different since when you left. We got a couple of new faces there. The culture's maybe a little bit of tweaked in there. So how do you feel being back and the new challenge for the season?
Yeah, I'm very excited to be back. I think the fact that I went away, learn new things, grow as a person. I also know that I'm joining a system that's different, especially you guys playing in a final again, basically back-to-back RC finals. So for me, coming back as a guy that went through what I went through, I'm also different. So I'm excited to join the squad, knowing that they are different, but also knowing that I'm different. So for me, it's coming back sort of like a player joining a new system. So, that's what
on that. Do you think, obviously it was a tough experience at racing for you. Do you think that might have made you a better player?
Definitely. Like I said, it's the nice thing.
Scary. Scary.
The nice thing. The nice thing for me, with being there, not understanding the language, is that I got to learn a lot without saying anything.
Okay.
Because I don't speak, because they don't listen to or struggle to understand English. But now when they speak, sometimes it gets translated, or sometimes you pick up actually what they are saying. So I got to experience a whole league, a whole system, a whole culture of how they do things without me saying anything back. So I mean, that's sometimes the best way to learn. That's why they have the saying of you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So I got to experience all of those and soak up that experience. So now I come back knowing how we do things in South Africa with what I've learned there. So now we can sort of like, not replace, but intertwine the two and then actually see what we can do next season.
Going overseas is always a challenge, especially it's easier for myself because I played in the Premiership, so that's much easier because the language is easy, it's the same type of culture. But going to France, getting the language, getting the culture, the food, all those type of things, even in Japan as well, it's quite tough to adapt. And sometimes you just got to make sure that you focus on the right things. Like yourself, you said you focus on your rugby things and making sure you make that work. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's about happiness. And it's just awesome to see you back playing. Yeah, hopefully playing some good rugby for us. And
I'll be supporting you. I'm not, as you know, I'm not a big guys. Don't
yeah.
In the streets don't, but
big what?
Stormer fan.
Say it. Yeah.
I'm not a big Stormer fan. I grew up being a Blue Bulls fan. I'm still strong Blue Bulls, but I'll support my friends.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's very important.
Thank you, really.
Pleasure, absolute pleasure. But listen here, Boogie. Obviously, you've had a extremely awesome career so far, and you're still very, very young. I've had the opportunity, when he joined us at the Bulls, he was 19 years old and messed up every training session for everyone at Loftus. But I want to go back even further than that. I want to start, obviously, Warrick growing up in Honley, right, in Neisner. How did that end up going to the World Cup in Japan, that journey? And on that journey, there was obviously a few stumbling blocks with the knees and the injuries. But let's start at the beginning from Honley. Have you always had an desire and ambition to one day achieve what you have achieved now? From Honley going to Paris.
To be honest, no. For me, the main thing was I wanted to play for SWD in whatever sport. That was the main thing.
Sy kap voor hom.
Yes.
Arende vlieg hoog.
Come on.
Yes.
So I said, okay, I played soccer, I played cricket, I played rugby. So I said, listen, if I can stack up all these different sport coaches, the odds need to be in my favor. It has to be in my favor. So I played all these sport coach, and then SWD under 12. I made the SWD team for rugby. I played Safa Eden soccer, and then I played under 15 PG Bison cricket.
Yes.
So then I eventually I reached what I wanted to. So I got the SWD then in basically all 3 coach, which was alright. But then sort of I wanted to go play cricket, but then under 16 I got shoulder injury. So that was like sort of my first setback. So I couldn't bowl anymore as quick as I used to. So it left rugby basically. So rugby was the only thing left because Otanika didn't have soccer at the time.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So rugby was left, and I met Gran Como. I'm basically a product of this whole SARU system. So I played all the leagues that was there, under 12, under 13, under 16, 18. So I played in all the teams that you possibly can make. So I played in all of those things.
Just for the listener, for the viewer, Warrick. Am I correct when I said you played center?
Yeah, I used to see like a smallish guy with not a broken fade, but like a more number 1 haircut, playing for province, 2009, 2010.
Oh.
Yeah, small guy. Yeah, no, he was a fullback with his ground cap. Yeah, but he was a smallish guy. He played 12, 13, very great feet, great end off.
Yeah.
So
fantastic left
step,
awesome
but keep it at the left. Yeah. But yeah, he was. I mean, so when I played center in school, you sort of see that, okay, he's breaking that mold of how a 12 should look, how a 13 should look. And so he basically gave us as youngsters that sort of like, yeah, we can play center, like we don't have to pass over guys, but we can use our skill set and our feet to beat guys in the midfield. So yeah, that sort of small guy was this guy sitting here, 200 young.
I can teach you a thing or two.
Yes.
No, just joking, man.
So,
No, it's good to hear. It's always good to hear just to, hear stuff like that. I've been around for a very long time, and you hear the stories of people talking about what you've achieved, because at the end of the day, you go through your career and you think to yourself, listen, it's just you, trying to be the best you can be. If you can inspire people like that, it's just awesome to hear always, coming back and seeing this and hearing this, and that can just kickstart you. But that's good to hear. Hopefully I can learn a thing or two from you.
Are you smiling so much now? Why are you smiling so much?
It's never too late, yeah. So talking about setbacks and injuries and stuff like that, obviously you've had a lot of injuries and long-term injuries, like 6 months to 9 months to 12 months, and especially in that season in 2022, that when you won the URC, you had injuries before that. And it was also a challenge for you getting into the team, because you had to struggle to get into the team as well, not being first choice at the start of it, but you fought your way back. What's the challenges like, having those setbacks, having those injuries? What is your process? Because I've seen you work, I've seen how you move, and you're very professional in what you're doing. And what is your process in terms of what you're doing to get back?
I think to come back to when I was at the Bulls, as a youngster, I got into the system, and I was fortunate enough to have a guy, Travis Ismail, Rudy. So that's music. He was there. So I think they were basically, it was easy for me to get into the system because of seniors like them. So they were always doing things the right way, Sometimes you think, yes, this guys want to do extras again. You a youngster, you think, I don't need to do extras. I just need to train and go home. And then either Rudy want to pass or you want to kick.
Extras, yeah.
So now when he pass, I can catch. And when he kicks, I can also catch. So even if I wanna extra to do kicks, he passes. So we both benefit. Same with Travis, he wanna do high balls. So with all of those type of things, they basically taught you from a young age that yes, it's talent that got you here, but it's sort of like grinding and working on those things at the same time. So in that regard, I was very lucky for them to sort of guide me in that way. But then obviously with my injuries, I think my first ACL that I got was 2016. So it was I just got onto the scene at the time, Super Rugby, and I scored my first time. Rudy almost pushed me over the line
Against the Sharks, I remember that.
when I had to score, you know. So he sort of like almost pushed me off the field. So when I scored, I had to look at him first. I'm like, don't you want me to score? What are you doing, you know? And anyway, but I got my first injury there, and it sort of like shaken my whole life, I guess, if I can say it like this, because I mean, I was in a squad with you guys for Olympics at the time. And then I got to the sevens and they're like, you have an ACL, you have to get surgery and you're out for 6 to 9 months. And at a very young age, I was lucky enough to know that, okay, yes, it's part of the game, but then it made me realize that rugby is not life, you know. It's something that we do. And I think with all of my long-term injuries I got, it sort of gave me that life lessons, and it makes me basically grow as a human being. And I think that's sort of what we miss in. I think sort of it's a new generation thing where it's either we make it in rugby or we feel like we're not worthy of living, you know. And I'm thinking that's the one thing I got right for myself, is that knowing that rugby is something that I do and I'm taking it seriously because it's a big part of my life, but it's not life.
It's not who you are.
It's not who I am, yeah. So that's what my injuries taught me. So it made me come back much easier because I know when I do rehab in the best of my ability.
Yep.
I'm putting everything in, but then when I'm out of the HBC, out of the rehab place, I'm human again and I love life. And there's different parts of my life that I can give attention to. Sometimes, especially family for myself, because when we play rugby, we're busy training, playing, touring. So for me, it's like sort of just giving attention to those areas that we sort of slack when we're playing, because there's other things that takes priority in the time. So that's what I sort of learn over my like long-term injuries. So when I come back, I know where I am at the place of as a human being, but also I know when I'm back, I'm ready to play. So that's sort of what I've learned. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear, Warrick. You know, obviously you've been around very long time. I've went to watch you on YouTube, and there's a lot of good clips. But there's one clip that stands out for me. I don't know if you've seen it. Let's have a quick look here quickly.
Show him.
Who's that who's passing the ball of 9?
That's awesome.
I must admit, obviously the kick, Warrick Bokeh is not great.
It's a great strike.
But there was someone who passed the ball on the back shoulder of the flyer.
Yeah.
That is who's that guy?
Awful.
Obviously, a 9 must relieve the pressure, not move the pressure. Yeah. And as you look at that clip, he's in front of the ball and he's smiling at you. He's laughing at you.
That guy is definitely not smiling. He's probably complaining already.
You brought Jan, obviously, probably gave him something just to say sorry. Yeah.
No, listen, Jan and I, we spoke about it a lot actually. So that incident, it was, you know, when you were kicker, it's all about the process and head down and kick, you know. So when I got that ball, I went straight into my kicking motion. And as I got there, like, it's too late.
Too late to apologize.
But anyway, Jan and I actually decided if we ever score a try after that, we're going to do that celebration. Yeah, but we never got to it,
Good fun. But listen, Bokeh, obviously we spoke about all the tough things, Paris, injuries. I want to talk about only the good things. You are World Cup champion, my brother. Huh? World Cup winner.
Huh?
World Cup winner.
Ik wil het zien, was hij?
Niemand kan die goedjes wegvat. Die man is een World Cup winner.
Is in die kassie.
Hoe was hij journey? I know our boys are currently in that process where they're up for selection next week. You know, it's the last few games. But what was your journey like pre-World Cup selection? Playing that year. You know, that's part of the year where, you know, next week coach is going to announce the team. How was that in 2019?
It was actually very good. I think we were fortunate enough to obviously got Dwayne that year, and we had Skalk. So and Polly was obviously the fly-off. So, you know, sort of like the way we played at the Bulls was sort of like close to the DNA of the Springboks, you know. So that helped a lot in knowing that that's how they're going to play and that's how you're going to get selected. So we had a great team that year. We played amazing rugby. And so from a Bulls perspective, we were very good. lost by a small margin in the quarterfinals against the Canes.
Yeah.
So yeah, but with that it was amazing. It was a flippin' tough journey.
Hard work before that World Cup.
Just before that World Cup, we had few games where I was like, I don't think I ever want to go through this again. Just from like how tough and how amazing the preparation was, but also just how locked in everyone was. I think there was a genuine belief that
You guys are gonna win it.
we're gonna win the World Cup. Yeah, and sort of in the beginning you feel like this is not needed, but then everything added on.
Yeah.
Just like it's sort of compound. I think for me is being part of the broader squad. I didn't play in as much games as I wanted to, but what was amazing was that with all of that warm up games, I think like in the beginning, the way Japan plays, I think they play an amazing brand of rugby.
Yeah.
Attacking
100%
man.
agree.
You like attack,
So being in the NPS is sort of like you prepping the guys who's playing.
Yes.
So you're learning a different type of rugby. So for me in that whole World Cup process, I got to be Japan, New Zealand, England, Wales,
Yes.
Italy in a way. So it's sort of like the kicking game of Wales, right? You know how persistent they are with the kicking game. They don't go away with, they don't get bored. And then you play the attacking style of Japan, and then you New Zealand, and then you England, where it's the mixture of both.
Of both, yeah.
So me as a NPS, I got to learn so much as a rugby player
Yes.
because I
analyzing the opposition.
but also being the opposition, because we have to give the right pictures to the guys who's playing. So
I just wanted the viewer, NPS, non-playing squad. That's what it means. The guys who are not selected, that's training against the starting, non-playing squad. Continue.
But it's always tough with the non-playing squad because obviously it's mental as well, because you want to play but you don't get that opportunity. Just to make that mental shift in terms of being non-playing squad, and then when you do get your opportunity, just to make that shift, obviously you learn a lot and you're happy for the team, because whatever the team achieve, you're part of that. But sometimes you want to contribute more. What is that feeling like in terms, especially in a massive competition like the World Cup, if you don't get that opportunity, and just to make sure that you do everything to make the team go forward, because at the end of the day you also get that medal.
Yeah, I think I mean Rudy started off by saying you're a World Cup winner. And you as an NPS, you, like you say, obviously as a player, is your ego itself, it wants to play. But then when you think basically broader than that, you actually realize that if I don't give you the right picture, we're not winning this game. So I have to put in this work to be able to be called a World Cup winner. My job was just as important as the one who's playing. And yes, it's a different type of pressure, because those are the guys that 75 million people are watching who's playing. But in the week when we prep, it's just important. So like I said, for me as a player, I sort of went with the mindset of, listen, this is actually one way to exploit space, is the way how Japan do it, because they have smaller guys. So for them, they can be confrontational in the contact area. So they sort of have to move the ball into space differently compared to how South Africa would do it. So now you learn like, okay, this is one way to do it. But then the next week you get New Zealand, and then you have just guys with just this insane skill set who can basically by a pass or a kick pass or whatever get into space. Or you have their forwards having this soft hands and moving ball. So then you sort of like see the game different then again. And then Italy comes, and then Wales come, and then England comes. It's just different. So I sort of went with the mindset of how can this help my game thinking wise and going forward, and like how can we basically like I say pay the game forward.
No, 100%, because I also felt the same thing. Obviously, what you felt in the Rugby World Cup, I felt in the URC, in the 2020 URC. So obviously, you're prepping, the Munster, the Glasgow, and you just learn a lot. But when you do get into that position when starting, it's always to pay back, making sure that the guys feel welcome to the squad, making sure you feel, because the squad is more important than the individual, and the jersey is more important than the individual and your personal goal. So it's always good to see when people do give back, and that's what you've done with all the guys that didn't get a lot of opportunities, like myself. We've been around for years. All the other guys that hasn't got opportunities. So it's always good to see from you and Mani and all the boys. Just making sure everyone feels welcome.
On Mani, guys, I think it was a little game this weekend, eh?
Yeah, massive, eh?
What did you guys think? I watched it, 22-21. A lot to think about, a lot to talk about. Obviously, the game started horrible.
Yeah, it started horrible, yeah.
One of my favorite players going down in the first 16 seconds.
Yeah, it wasn't good to see. Yeah. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching the game. I'm like, Mr. Ref, stop the game. It didn't help because everyone could see, listen here, Grant is obviously knocked out.
Mr. Ref had no business of
Huh?
stopping that game.
Yeah. And it's a picture you don't want to see, and it's just a part of the game, you know, these incidents that happen. And for me personally, I felt like it should have been a card, even if it was a yellow card, but it's what's very dangerous to leave someone like that.
Yeah, I think obviously it's been a hot topic on the social media platforms. Whether it should have been a card, whether it should not have been a card. I think I'm kind of split both way. I understand why the ref allowed it. I thought obviously he charged the ball down. He got actually to the ball, so which means he was fully committed in his act. You understand? Obviously the outcome was terrible for the player, for Granty. We obviously all wanted to see. But I could understand why the ref allowed it to happen. And I also kind of understand the frustration of the viewers because there's so many grey areas when it comes to head contact in our game currently.
Yeah.
And I think that is something we need to not fix, but we need to tidy up.
When it
En 'n
injury...
besempie en 'n skoppie. Maak die ding mooi skoon dat ons weet
Gewoon
wat
een
aangaan.
line dat allemaal op dezelfde page is.
Ja.
Op
Rudy
is.
page,
Ja.
Ja. Turning the
Yeah.
page.
When it happened, I actually thought of that incident with Patrick Lambie. It was similar to that. It was a charge down. With the difference in this case is I think like I felt like he touched the ball.
Yeah, he got to the ball.
He got to the ball, and like CJ actually jumped very late. And for me, when it comes to charge down, when you charge the kick down, you must go towards his foot and towards the ball. I felt like Juan Malia was, yeah, he was a bit too high in the air, but he was out of control because he led with his hip. Once you lead with your hip, it's very dangerous. And like in today's game, it's important to make sure that people are safe.
Would you have given?
I would have given him a card, even if it was
Which one? Yellow.
A yellow card. It should have been a red card, by the law of the game. But
Okay.
even if it was a yellow card, because it's not good to see, especially with Grant, his first start.
And I was so excited, boys,
to
man.
see him go.
I was licking my lips hier. Ek het die Dorito-kies is daar by die huis uit en ek het my
Diet,
chucklekies.
diet.
I don't diet, Boogie. Come on. I had my chuckles out and I was the boys are going to play. Ek gaan lig uit my stoel uit want dit gaan quick ball.
Yeah. No, it wasn't
And
a
then
good
damn.
image. It wasn't a good image, yeah. But I must say, Faf that came on played a good game. It's not easy to sit on a bench and expecting a 30, 40 minutes and then get an 80-minute shot and then, you need to spark yourself and get into that zone. But it's just part of hopefully it's all good. And hopefully we'll see him in the next, I think, 2 to 3
hopefully
weeks.
I'm holding thumbs for you, Granty, that next week you're in the mixed Barassi in that squad. I would love to see him at the World Cup. I think he's playing, obviously I've told you many times, big fan of Grant Williams. Love the way he's playing his game the past 12 months, the speed and everything that he brings to the game. But for now, recover, my brother. Keep well. And then standouts?
There was a couple of players. It was those games where you're not sure after the final was you like, was it a good game? Because there was some good stuff and there was are the boys ready? But yeah, Argentina played well. They dominated the territory. They dominated the position. They put us under massive pressure, and we were actually lucky to win that game. I felt like if the kicking boot of the number 10 wasn't sung, it would have been a different story. So we struggled a lot in a lot of areas, but it was good to see a couple of guys getting the opportunities. There were some standout players. I felt like Eben did a fantastic
but
job.
he's always good. Eben is always good.
Yeah, but
he's flipping. He's so consistent.
But like I said last week, in the releasing him of that pressure actually gave him that
Captaincy.
That captaincy actually gave him that kick starts to clear his head a little bit and focus on one thing, focus on his game, making sure that's on song. Give the pressure to Dwayne. I mean, he can handle it. So it's good to see Eben on fire. Outstanding as well. I must say, Jesse Kriel was good as well for me. People don't see the unseen work, especially when you look at the game from a 13 point of view. I felt like he was outstanding in terms of how he controlled the defense, putting guys into space on attack as well. And even like the crucial moment when Mani scored, everyone thinks like Faf picked up the ball, Mani scored, but it was Jesse Kriel putting guys under pressure, making sure that he forced that error for other guys to get into that space. So good to see the guys that's getting opportunity, especially in the first game. We had Andre Estres and Eskom, those guys getting those opportunity and using it, and this weekend as well, Jesse Kriel using it. It was good to see.
We spoke about the Power Rangers last week. We spoke about the guys in the scrum caps. I couldn't understand, and obviously I'm at 9, so I'm at the breakdown. I don't understand actually whatever happens at the break. Why can't we get the ball to our wingers, partner? A space where they got 10 meters one-on-ones, so the Power Rangers can do their thing. I think they got the ball from chasing the ball around and having to make counter defensive tackles.
Yeah. Yeah, do you know who's the Power Rangers?
I've seen the episode.
Okay.
Well done.
Yeah, he's actually good to ask, especially like moving the ball around, because he's a creator in terms of that. With powerful wingers like that, Cheslin Colby, Arends, and all those boys out wide. Running the midfield. Playing off 10, playing off 15, making sure that you create space. Trying to put those guys into space. How do you find space for those guys coming from a counter attack and coming from default play, moving the ball out wide?
I think it's sort of like just speaking with them. I think sometimes creating space is not always just giving them the ball early and giving it to them in space. It's obviously painting pictures, obviously knowing what the opposition do. So sometimes it's just with little kicks in behind, just to maybe get the wing to set off or the fullback to set off. Then sort of just giving them the ball in space. Like for instance, with this weekend, Vali and Mani went to the cross kicks
early
a few times. Yeah. So basically, if you say did they get the ball in space, yes, they did, but it's negative space. So it's all about understanding like what you want to try to create. I think with the Springboks, you basically blessed with having it forwards.
Go forward.
It's
and
go
that's what
forward
you want
all the time. Yeah. So I think sometimes maybe, I think from a Stormers perspective, what UFC Abelo and Zas, those guys you can give the ball early, whether there's a guy or two, because you know what they can do one-on-one. So normally giving them ball into space is not necessarily there shouldn't be anyone. Or there should be 10 meters. It's giving Zas a one-on-one.
Allowing him to beat his man, because he's got the fend, he's got the step, all those type of things. And you got to keep the defense system honest as well. Like he said now, especially what New Zealand did against us, getting that attacking kicks through, especially with the Rust defense, keeping the defense honest. And from there, once you move the ball once or twice, then our wingers will find space. But it wasn't a game for our Power Rangers, to get going. But I must say as well, from my personal point of view, I must say Cheslin Colby had an awesome game. And I'm going to be so harsh to say, like, if it wasn't for Cheslin Colby, we could have lost that game. Because there's a lot of moments, like on the 52nd minute, when Kitsi stole the ball under the balls. 2 minutes before that, Cheslin Colby made a crucial tackle, a line break. If you didn't tackle that guy, it was a try. It was all over. After the quick tap, when we went around us, when the 3v1 versus Valley, when Cheslin Colby ran back and dotted the ball down for them for a scrum.
When they kicked it through.
When they kicked it through. That was crucial as well. If they scored there, it's a different story. And the most important thing was when the conversion. He was the only guy, obviously, when it's a try, and all the players stands behind the poles, looking. He was the only guy chasing that kick, because he knows that was the difference between being ahead 8 points and 6 points. And luckily enough, he missed that ball and 8 points ahead.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't for that, we could have been...
Lost by 1 point.
It could have been a different story. So I must say, he was crucial, not with the stuff that we used to, stepping and scoring
not the
tries.
Flashy stuff.
Yes, but the unseen work, it was incredible. So Cheslin played a good game. So if I was Rassie, I would have draai hom vas in watte, sit hom weg en kry hom weer 4 weke vir die World Cup.
So choppy, skaap choppy, sit voor hom in die vrieskas, ons haal hom uit Saterdag. Ek hoor jou, I'm with you. And the Pumas, guys, I think are playing good rugby, Warrick, eh? The way they're moving the ball, the continuity they get, the KVA keeping the ball alive, in contact. I mean, I've been awfully impressed by the lead up on them. Obviously, the All Black game in Mendoza, which they kind of find their feet. but that was the first week of guys coming back from all over the world. So it was kind of expected they would struggle against the All Blacks. And they got momentum against Australia in Sydney. They beat Australia in Sydney, Eddie's boys. Coming to Ellis Park, which should have actually been way more tougher for them at altitude, our home of rugby. Now we got them away in Buenos Aires. What beast are we getting that side?
I think one thing that you can see from the Pumas is that they basically, I think they want to be one of the fittest teams in the world. And I think how they went territorial against us and also actually get 3-4 guys in that first chase line all the time. I think up until the end, I think that's what kept them in the game against us, because obviously, like, you know, Springboks defense is amazing. It's like getting the line. You know, you have workhorses in the Peter Steff and those guys, Damien and Jess, especially Jess, and putting that, you know, he loves for high line defense. So that pressure, but Argentina's kept on going to the kicking game. And then the chase was there. It wasn't like kicking the ball away. There. I think that's one thing that's better for them. I think they're much more mobile than they used to be in the past. They used to be obviously confrontational in the forwards, but then it's sort of gone now.
And the penalty count is down, eh?
Yeah.
If you guys picked it up, the discipline penalty-wise is gone. Is way lower than what it used to be previous years.
Yeah, Argentina, they're fighting, and they're fighting at the right time. And that's why I'm a little bit worried for this weekend.
And
playing them at home.
And they cry when they're that side.
Huh?
The steers and you
cry
hear them
for
shouting,
me,
and it's a different beast at that side, eh?
But also, I think it's amazing for the Springboks. I mean, if you talk about preparation for World Cup, that's what you want. It's basically if you play France in the quarterfinals, it's going to be exactly the same. The French is going to cry when they sing their anthem. It's going to be a hostile crowd. Most probably where they're going to play maybe Stade de France.
Yeah.
So in terms of preparation for World Cup, it's the best. And I think also the guys that went over, is those guys who's almost like knocking on the door for selection. So
last chance.
Yeah, so prepping them in an environment like that against the Argentinian team, like you say, that's on the rise, who's on fire now. So it's amazing. I think it's amazing to see Mani playing under these circumstances, you know, doing his thing. The way he plays at this moment is insane. So I think with all of those guys who's gonna go and play there, it's an amazing opportunity for them.
Yeah, these last chance, eh?
Yeah.
Huh? Squad announcement soon.
It's next week, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Squad announcement. So this is last chance saloon for the boys.
Yeah, to pick up their hands, to get that final, final yes or no. It's always
and are we saying unofficially the boys that are staying behind, are they 1 foot on the plane? Are we saying it?
Should we call a spade a spade?
I'm gonna call a spade a spade. I think those boys are resting this week. They know, Rashi knows what he's got in them. I think obviously duly I don't disagree with it as well. I think we've got a core group of guys that've done it before with Warrick, and I think he knows what he's got in those boys, man. They've got a good relationship. They know what they get out of each other.
Yeah.
So for the boys in Buenos Aires, boys, here we go. One of these. All the best. Yeah. Enjoy your chances. Take your chances.
No, 100%, yeah. Because, I mean, that's 6 games before the World Cup. And you need to split the load between, the whole squad. You need to give guys opportunity, obviously. You need to give guys game time, especially the guys that you know has a good chance of going. And the guys that actually stayed behind actually is the guys that got a lot of game time. So it's good to see the other guys like Dion Fourie, Ivan Ruiz, Herschel Jantjies, all those boys, Franco Moster that played the second game, getting opportunity again. Making sure that they are, if Rassi has or Jacques has them on the plans, that they're at least sharp when it comes to the World Cup.
Bokeh, I'm actually happy Mani's getting another start, another chance to play international rugby. I think that's gonna just keep on gonna get better and more comfortable at that level, and that will be awesome for his rugby and for us as a squad.
That's also a question. So obviously he's been playing a lot of rugby as well. So there's this game coming up, and we're playing Wales as well and New Zealand as well. In terms of game time, you need to, Andre must come back as well. When does he get opportunity? And I actually feel a little bit sad for Elton as well. Who, maybe got got given an opportunity somewhere. Was it like last weekend, especially with Andre coming back? You know, being part of the squad for a couple of weeks always is tough. You know, working hard and waiting for opportunity. And now I think he's released from the squad. It would have been nice to give him a chance last weekend or even this weekend.
A fair chance.
Yeah, you kind of know what you have in Andre. You kind of know what you have in Mani. Just a fair chance is also with other boys as well, you know, Shell, even the There's a lot of guys that's waiting in the line for the opportunities.
And that's the tough part about World Cup here.
Yeah.
Making sure you split everything fairly, and I think kind of it's an impossible thing to do. But luckily for the three of us, that's none of our problems. We can just sit here and talk about our ragas.
Wait for the 8th.
Yeah, we wait patiently for the 8th. Excitement.
Plane, yeah.
World Cup fever. I can feel it, partner. World Cup fever is coming. It's coming. Yeah. And I can't wait to just have fun and enjoy it. And then there was one more game.
Oh, yeah, the MCG. Yeah, it was.
He didn't do it for us.
He didn't do it for us.
He didn't do it for us.
That first 20 minutes, they came out firing. So I thought, here's a chance, because they were leading I think it was 7-5.
Yeah.
But then the class of the All Blacks just came through. So the All Blacks are fantastic outfit so far, and they're making me nervous when it comes to the World Cup. But like you said, you want them to, kickstart.
I want them to flourish. I want all the chat to be about them. I want people to rave about them and love them. Yeah. The All Blacks are back. All Blacks are back.
And Eddie is trying some different things, eh?
Eddie needs a grandpa.
Huh?
I think he's got a headache.
Uncle Eddie. Selection. So you got a new 10. Was I think Carter Gordon that he gave an opportunity. 22 years old. They've obviously lost Hooper. They've lost Slipper, their captaincy. They had, one of the props was their captain, and he got injured as well. So there's a lot of
two tight props he lost.
Yeah, early in the game, one with Achilles. It's a lot of stress. Grandpas that he needs to take.
Grandpas, it's tough, it's headaches.
Yeah.
Warrick, anything from the All Blacks that's standing out for you at the moment? The past 3 games?
Yeah, I think what happened for them the last couple of years, I think they went sort of through their growing pains.
That sick mooi curve.
Yeah, so I think what they've got right is, there's a guy like Jordy and Rico, for instance, in their midfield. Jordy is 25, he has 50 caps. Rico is also, I think, same age or younger. Just played 100 games with the Blues. So I think what they've got right is that they sort of got their answers of what they want, and maybe it will work for them in the World Cup, maybe not, but I think the next 2 or 3 years for them, they'll be alright. I think that's what they've got right. But also with having Aaron Smith there,
makes it so much easier.
You can see the difference when he's playing or when he's not playing.
They've got a good
I told him last week about it. As soon as Aaron goes off, there's a definite drop in the attacking game.
Yeah. Because Aaron got sort of a place where I think he knows he's getting older, but he's also sort of more cement towards his basics. The Aaron of old would snipe and doing his thing, but now it's his basics first,
So you would say that the squad is kind of settled, actually the starting 15 is settled. Because I had a little bit of a question mark around about the 11, Mark de Leer. At first, the first couple of games I was like, maybe not. I don't know, Caleb Clark is there, maybe bring Julian Severe back. But this past weekend, he actually surprised me in terms of, he's hungry for the ball. He's got some X factor.
In contact. I think they found the physical. They've always had that physical wing.
He doesn't look physical, but he's strong.
He's tough.
He's good.
Yeah, he surprised me actually. So in terms of the whole back line and even the forwards as well, they kind of cemented 90% of the squad, knowing who's going to play in that first, second, third, or fourth game, even in the players as well.
I also think what they got right is, I think they got props for the first time in a while.
They scrum.
That can actually scrum, yeah. So that was sort
of There's a new guy,
I can see spend a year in France when he's talking about scrums.
Yeah, but sort of lineouts, they were fine. Backs, obviously, they're always spoiled with backline players, but I think it's in the prop area where they sort of always struggle. But I think they got a nice mixture of that. But I think, like I said, they sort of tested the trial and error sort of the last couple of years. And I think they have a very healthy squad.
A very healthy squad, yeah. And especially that when it comes to the 25th of August in Twickenham, we got to test that squad.
Yeah, we gotta.
I think we must get our best team out there. You know, being like testing that team as being our final team or final 15. Playing Scotland, playing Ireland. Those two big games.
Tonga. Don't forget about Tonga in the World Cup.
But we gotta start with the first hurdle, and that's Scotland.
Yeah.
So Scotland looking good because they played Italy. They struggled a bit against Italy this weekend. Just nearly won by 5 or 7 points. And they've got some dangerous customers there as well. They've also got a Power Ranger. Did you see? Huh?
Yeah. It's also short.
Darcy Graham? Yeah,
All
from
these
Edinburgh. So yes,
I know where all these short rugby players are coming from, but I'm loving it, boys.
Yeah, but it's good to see. So it's gonna be a cracker World Cup. Yeah,
So All Blacks is sorted. We know South Africa is gonna be good at the World Cup. We obviously we also the Springboks. We back the Springboks all the way, guys. Wallabies, quickly.
I don't know.
Worried?
Three
No?
games. Very worried actually. 3 games on a bounce, and they're playing New Zealand again.
Yes, in Dunedin.
And then they play France.
Yes.
So
They might go into the World Cup with
that's a
0 victories.
tough. Yeah, it's a tough prep for them going to the World Cup. But yeah, it is an experienced coach, and they've got a couple of good players, especially the senior players.
They got quality players. I don't think it's the playing. They got really
and
good
some
players.
new guys coming in as well, especially that wing. What is his name? Nawakwanitiwasa, something like that.
Thing, yeah.
But yeah, he's good to see. He's been awesome, especially in the Super Rugby as well. I've watched a couple of games, and every time I see him playing, I'm like surprised. You know, a guy that wants to get the ball in hand and cause a bit of havoc. So it's good to see this couple of guys, and hopefully
Individually, they are good. Individually, they're still good players. I mean, now we all know if a team goes through a slump, it doesn't make we as players individually even bad for. So I think they still have good players, and I think Eddie will have a definite plan for the World Cup.
Yeah.
But they on the other side. Luckily, we don't. We'll see
the
them
easier
later.
side.
Call it. Say.
I don't know. I think it's the easier side, that side.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we do face them, it's gonna be the semi-final. Looks like it, yeah.
But I also think you get more answers when you lose, especially when you
Wisdom.
when you bowl.
Wisdom. That's wisdom.
When you bowl towards the World Cup, I think you wanna sort of get those things out that you basically wanna get out. Especially with Eddie. I mean, when you hear him speak, always he has a plan. Obviously, always say what he wanna say and what's on his mind. He always says
Love
it,
it.
but like you say, with the quality of players that he has, I think sort of a month or 2 from now, you'll get it right. I think no one will just come in and even Eddie comes in and get things right from the get-go.
Yeah.
It's a different DNA, it's a different culture that he's going to try and create. So I think with all of those losses, I think it's sort of like they came close against Argentina.
They learn.
So
Could help them.
yeah, if it helps with them, I mean, he said in his last interview that people should keep on praying and hoping, whatever. So hopefully that prayers get answered in the World Cup. So you never know.
And World Cup is a tournament where anything can
it's
happen. Once you get through that pool stages, you get to the quarterfinals, anything can happen. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, Mr. Gelant, I think from the two of us, personally, thank you for your time. Your time is valuable in life, and we want to thank you for spending your time with us and sharing his wisdom.
Yeah, it was deep.
Wow, it was deep. It's all that books he's reading nowadays. Yeah, but thank you, man. I know the viewers will love this and getting a more in-depth into the life of Warrick and what makes you tick and who you are, basically. I think that's the important thing, who you are. Thank you for spending time with us. We do really appreciate it.
No, thank you so much. And I think just with this podcast, for instance, I think I've watched obviously all the other episodes.
Yeah, just subscribe.
Now I'll subscribe.
Subscribe.
But I've watched, and it's an amazing thing. I think you guys have here, and it's I think it's an amazing opportunity to get the other side of rugby players. I think especially in South Africa, I think rugby players are misunderstood, but also just being seen as rugby players. And I think what you guys doing it's sort of my motto in life is breaking change. It's like just getting this thing and do stuff that's not rugby like. It's not rugby is not supposed to do this, but why not? So this is what I love about you guys, and hopefully I'll come back when we
definitely
we do this again. But
need
then
you back,
obviously
Okay, iemand right to doen.
Thank you.
Invoice.
No, it's awesome to have you on the show. You know, it's good to have someone in the show because sometimes it can get crowded with this guy.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's a small space, but it's dynamite.
But 100%. Yeah.
Boom.
It's good to have you, my man. So all the best with the pre-season. I'll see you next to me. Just make sure you're in front of me, okay? Don't be behind me.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so all the best, and hopefully we'll have a crack of a season, the same like you've had the past couple of years, especially in France and at the Stormers as well. Good to see you, boy.
Thank you so much.
Paige, that was some deep stuff, eh? Huh? What an interview with the boogeyman.
Yeah, I loved it. I think he gave us really, really good insight into his life. And I think the viewers would get to know Warrick better as well. Like we know him. You understand? There's more to the exciting and the X factor and the creativity. There's a individual that is an awesome person, man.
It's in the end of the day, and that's important. Yeah,
that is the most important part.
Before the sport. Yeah. And
then it's another chicken wrap.
It's a chicken wrap, yeah. That was good. It was good. Episode 4, done and dusted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully, guys, see you guys next week. Remember, subscribe. Okay?
Yes.
Pause this quickly 5 seconds. Click that button and subscribe, and you can play again. So yeah, that's a chicken wrap. I'm Juan de Jong.
And I'm Rudy Page.
And the rack is clear.